Hello friends, today we will be studying the osteological features of the skull bone, and in that we are now studying the external features. We will today be seeing the norma occipitalis. Now the norma occipitalis is nothing but the posterior view of the skull bone. Now what we see here is the posterior view of the skull or the norma occipitalis. Now in this view, the shape of the skull bone, it is convex upwards and it is flat below. Now, what are the bones seen in this view? We see the two parietal bones. We see the squamous part of the occipital bone, and we also see the mastoid processes of the temporal bone on either side. What sutures are seen in this view? We see the posterior part of the sagittal suture, and we also see the lambdoid suture. Now the lambdoid suture is seen between the two parietal bones and the occipital bone. The lower end of the lambdoid suture meets the mastoid process of the temporal bone at a point which forms the junction between the occipitomastoid suture and the parieto-mastoid suture. So this point here is the lowermost extent of the lambdoid suture, and it meets at a point where two other sutures also meet, and those are the occipito-mastoid suture and the parieto-mastoid suture. Other sutures seen in this view are a small part of the occipito-mastoid suture and the posterior part of the parieto-mastoid suture. The occipito-mastoid suture is situated between the occipital bone and the mastoid process of the temporal bone, while the parieto-mastoid suture is situated between the parietal bone and the mastoid part of the temporal bone. Now, what are the features seen in this view? We see the external occipital protuberance. It is a midline protuberance on the lower part of the norma occipitalis. It marks the junction between the head and the neck posteriorly. Inion is the most prominent point on the external occipital protuberance. The trapezius originates from the upper part of the external occipital protuberance. The ligamentum nuchae is attached to the lower part of this protuberance. Second feature which we see here is the superior nuchal line. These are curved lines seen on either side of the midline. They pass laterally from the external occipital protuberance and go up to the mastoid process. These form the junction of the head and the neck posteriorly. The trapezius originates from the medial 1/3 of the superior nuchal line, while the sternocleidomastoid muscle gets inserted on the lateral part of the superior nuchal line. Splenius capitis is also inserted in the lateral part of the superior nuchal line below the attachment of the sternocleidomastoid. We also see a pair of highest nuchal lines in this view. These are situated about a centimeter above the superior nuchal lines. Epicranial aponeurosis is attached to their medial parts, while the occipital belly of occipitofrontalis originates on each side from its lateral part. The next feature which we see here is the mastoid foramen. This is located near the occipitomastoid suture. It opens internally at the sigmoid sulcus. What passes through the mastoid foramen? The meningeal branch of occipital artery and an emissary vein passes through this foramen. These were the features which we see in this view. Thus, we have studied the orthological features of the Norma occipitalis. Thank you.